This is Now or Never. The choice is yours. Your host is Karen Wright. Today, you're about to meet some amazing people. The stories are not always happy ones, but they define a healing process. Listen with an open mind and an open heart. Now, here is Karen Wright.
Welcome, listeners. Thank you for joining my show, Now or Never. The choice is yours. And you made the choice to be here today. I am so grateful for that. Imagine Freedom is the episode for today. Let's delve back into the world of story, the place where freedom takes flight through imagination. This week's guests are both authors. Listen in as we interview with Finn O'Malley and AJ Parks about the magic of bringing ideas to life and sharing story with the rest of the world. As we embrace our own stories, add to the story around us, and unleash imagination, we experience freedom in meaningful ways. I invite you all to stay tuned as we continue the show. Thank you both for being with us. Finn, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And AJ, this is amazing.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. We're really excited to have this chance to talk and share.
Well, I appreciate both of you for being here. And so do my listeners. Each week they're always like, who's next? Because every guest is totally different. And this week, you guys, we're just so excited because both authors, like I said, they're the fantasy, the imagination, the world, the freedom of growing your imagination. And I love that with July, the freedom, independence that we have, and allowing that to happen through writing, through storytelling. So thank you both. As we begin, I invite my listeners and my guests to take deep breaths and close your eyes and just join me as we just ground ourselves into this moment. Let's close our eyes right now and take a deep breath in and release. Another deep breath in and release. Bring your arms up around your shoulders like you're giving yourself a big hug. And take another deep breath in. And release. And now repeat 3 times. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. I am worthy of my love. Another deep breath in, allowing that flow of air to touch every cell throughout your entire body. And release. And tapping 3 times on your chest, repeating the word accept, accept, accept. Another deep breath in. And release. Listeners, I hope that this was just what you needed today, that grounding, the alignment of being one with the freedom inside of you, one with your imagination as we move forward with this interview today. As we know, every day, every week, I love to do my affirmations. And I was telling the guests, Finn and AJ right before, is that today when I was like shuffling through my cards, 2 of them popped out. So I'm like, whoa, this is what's going to happen. We've got 2 affirmations today. Listeners, I invite you to write the affirmations down, put them on your sticky notes, put them on your mirror, and look at them and allow them to be a part of your life this week. Allow them to join in. And as we listen to what our guests have to say, see if it resonates with you, with what they're saying. So here's our first one. I enjoy giving.
Oh, I love that.
I enjoy giving. So that's our first one. So Finn, what did you go? I love that. So what are your thoughts with that?
Well, in my other life of being a massage therapist, I'm always giving. So it made me think of that. It made me think of work and giving to others.
I appreciate that. Giving, a lot of us through work, we do give back to others to help them. So that's a wonderful thing to remember, listeners. You know, how do you give back through your work? Something to think about. AJ, what did you think? Oh, AJ's frozen.
AJ! We need to reach into the depths and pull her back.
And pull her back. Okay, here's our next one.
Okay.
Love vibrations are increasing on the earth. Love vibrations are increasing on the earth. Love vibrations are increasing on the earth. How does that make you feel? Then when I read that,
I thought of Saturday being full moon.
Yes,
and just
coming up on the 24th, right?
Right, yeah. And I'm going to the soccer game, and they're doing fireworks, so I think that's going to be super amazing. But I just thought of like the changes and shifts that have happened all through 21, and shifting out of everything that we experienced last year into like growth and change, and shifting into there's Anne, she's back.
Can you hear us, Anne?
No,
Maybe not. She's not. She's still frozen. Dang it.
she will join us.
Okay. Are you there, Anne?
I feel like
I
she
think
was.
so. I'm so sorry. I'm having some crazy internet problems, and so
I know.
I apologize.
Not a problem.
Ugh.
Okay, Anne, this
I
was our
missed
last one.
Okay, so
love
tell me the second affirmation
the
one more
second
time.
affirmation is love vibrations are increasing on the earth. Love vibrations are increasing on the earth. Love vibrations are increasing on the earth. How does that make you feel? What's your first thoughts? See if we can get you before you freeze. And I think she froze.
She froze.
She froze. Dang
It was so good. Oh, there is she back.
There you are.
I hope so. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. This thing is really not being my friend. So I heard I enjoy giving, and then, okay, let's see. So maybe
what?
if we keep having problems, we might have to call in on the audio line.
Yep. So why don't you do that? Call in, and then you can join us. But we're going to move forward, and we're going to interview. We're going to introduce Finn O'Malley first. Okay, Anne.
Ooh.
Okay, so call in.
Okay, sounds
Anne.
great. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
We're going with the flow here.
We have to always. It's called pivoting. This is what
That's
we do in
right.
life. We pivot.
Adapt.
We do, and it's
That's
so
right.
much fun. It's such
Adapt
a
to
good thing.
change.
Just when we just decided that we were having crazy problems, then it started working again. That's so ironic.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh well. I'll
Well, you
just
can
move
call
it
in
over.
and yeah, call in, but stay on face. Stay there as long as you can.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
listeners,
just
I
mute
want
myself.
I want to introduce Finn O'Malley.
Aw.
Finn is an Amazon best-selling author and an elemental goddess who loves writing, crystals, and daydreaming about her next meal. She lives in northern Utah with her human husband, 2 lovable teenagers, and 2 cat overlords on the hunt for adventure, world domination, and wet food. Okay, I hope we get to see your cats today.
I'll have to post a picture of
We
them.
might. You're gonna have to. Okay. When she is not in her garden growing human-sized bushels of herbs, you can find Finn sitting on a mountaintop practicing yoga with her witty personality, urban adventure for humans who need a break from reality. Finn's short story, Fire Dance, is featured in Dragons Within, Guarding Her Own, which won second place in the 2021 Feathered Quill Book Awards in the category Short Story Anthology, as well as a finalist in the Fiction Anthologies category of the 2020 Best Award sponsored by American Book Fest. Her debut urban fantasies novel, Awaken of Light, will release January 2021. So Finn, oh my gosh, thank you for being here with us today. This is
Thank you.
amazing.
I'm so excited to be here. Hearing that, it's funny listening to that bio.
I know, I love listening. I love reading the bio because then people are like, what? What's going on?
That's me. I do those things.
I know. And I love the fact that you are married to a human husband.
Right. It's a convenience. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because sometimes I'm wondering, okay, if they're not human, we're outer spacers.
Or a magical being in my realm, you know.
Yeah, no,
It could be
that's
all things.
so. Tell me, Finn, how many books have you written total?
I have 4 out right now, 2 anthologies, a novella, and then my novel. And I'm working on the 5th. We're planning a fall release for that, which I'm so excited about.
That's awesome. Tell me the names of the books so people can.
Oh my gosh.
start.
Okay, so why can't I think of the Fae one? It's right here. I'm having a brain. Hello.
That happens.
Right? It's fine. So Dragons Within, Under the Mist is the Fae anthology with, so those are both with other authors and they're short stories. My novella is Sessions with a Demon. It's about a demon who goes to therapy because we all need therapy.
Yes, we do.
We all need help. It's fine.
I actually have that book.
It's one of my favorites. I love to read it and just go, oh, Ren, you're so funny. And then Awakening of Light came out, which we talked about this, which was the fact that it released on 1/21/21, and today is 7/21/21.
6 months. It's all about the numbers.
And
Numbers are very powerful. They have a very spiritual meanings and energy around them.
They do. And I love acknowledging them when they come into my space and going and looking it up and being like, okay, I get you. I feel you. I hear your messages.
I think that's so important. So Finn, when did you decide to be an author?
Before I was born. No, I always wanted to be an author. In fact, I had some like insane dream that I was going to be the youngest author ever published ever in the world, which is silly, but it was my
It's
dream.
not silly.
Didn't happen, but you know, it's fine. So I always was writing. I've started writing a book when I was like 14, and my aunt was like, this is good. Like, she's writing a book. Like, you guys pay attention to this. And I never finished it, but I would start things. And it wasn't until a couple years ago, through like a series of really impactful women in my life, that pushed me to follow through with my dream and say, no, I'm going to actually publish. Because there's a difference of writing books and publishing. There's a huge, huge difference of paving that way forward. If that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense. When I want to know, you have your author's name. How did you come up with Finn O'Malley? I love the name, by the way.
It's funny because I decided my own name, for those who know it, but wasn't magical enough. So I wanted to write with a pen name. And it was actually my husband. I went over all these like names and ideas, and we were driving to go pick up the kids, and he was like, you know what would be a great author name? And I was like, what? I'm ready. And he goes, Finn O'Malley. And I was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. And the catch is that it's my cat's name.
It is your cat. So
It's my cat's name.
did you name your cat after you named your author name? Or
No, it was after. So like,
okay.
we had our cats. They have their names. They're brothers. And one is Finnegan O'Malley and the other is Jax O'Malley, or Father Jack O'Malley, because he has a little white like priest collar.
Uh-huh.
He's a dick, so I don't know about that. But
Yeah.
Father Jack O'Malley and Finnegan O'Malley. So Kayla was like, you should go by Finn. And I was like, how perfect is that? It's so magical and has that Celtic lore to it. That's
kind of part of your writing style, isn't it?
It is. I have such a drive for all of that magical world. So it was perfect. And it's my cat's name.
See, and I love that because Finn, I want to call you by your first name.
Yeah.
Finn.
And
Finn, She has this imagination. So we met at an author's retreat.
Yes.
And the first time I met Finn, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was enthralled with her. She's so creative, and she fills up this room with her grandness as she walks in. And she we're going to do this later in the show.
Oh, okay.
So this, and AJ, be ready for this too, because the third half of the show, I want you guys to pick something out of one of your books.
Ooh.
To share with the listeners, because when Finn reads a book, all of a sudden her voice changes and she becomes the character, and it's like she just enthralls you.
Nice.
Like seriously, when she comes, like Audible, her books, when they go on Audible, she has to be you have to be the one reading the book.
I know, and I've totally failed at recording, because like one of my goals at the beginning of the year, back in like February at the retreat that we were at in February, I was like, I am going to record Awakening, and I'm going to just start recording an hour every day, and I have totally failed.
Well,
But-
no, you haven't failed, because the year's not over yet.
It's
So there's no
not,
failing.
You're right. I have not failed. You're absolutely right. But I think it would be the best to read it, because I can't imagine not anyone else reading.
Right. Well, and I love that.
Right.
I love
So
it. There's something about reading it yourself, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Because
there
it's
totally
your
is.
voice. You know your characters. You know exactly how they're feeling and speaking. It's just a writer thing.
So Finn, how has your life impacted your writing?
Oh gosh. It's funny because you had mentioned, how has my healing work impacted my writing? And I don't think I was ready to really publish until now and write the stories and the books that I do until recently, because of who I've become. I see people very differently, being an empath and connecting to people in very profound, deep ways. So I feel like that's given me a strength in my character development of creating people. Well, they're people to me. They're real to me. Is that fair?
Yes, that's right.
They exist. And that's how they come to me, is it's almost like they are there and they're like, okay, now you're going to write about me. And this is and they're little pains in the asses. And sometimes they don't talk. I'm sure AJ can say, yes, I agree. And you're like, please talk to me. No. So I think it's helped me develop very strong, deep characters with all the layers that we also have as humans. Because one thing is we're not always just happy. We can be happy and heartbroken at the same time. There's always that duality to everything. And so multifacetedness, I think, is really important to bring to books.
Well, that's actually real life.
Exactly.
They might be fantasy characters, because I know your cat plays a part of your book.
He does. The other one.
The cat's in charge now.
The cat is really in charge.
I really do need to. I haven't finished the painting yet because I have some words, but like this sits on my wall, and that's my character from the book, and it's my Jax, except for he doesn't have blue eyes. But
yeah.
Go ahead, Karen.
I love it.
You.
Yeah, no, but I think I love the fact that as a writer, you can take real life characteristics of people or how you're feeling and bring them into your fantasy world.
Right.
And evolve.
And solve my own problems.
Yes. Well,
I do. I've learned so much from my characters.
To help us solve all our problems.
Right? That's why I write books, just to solve my shit.
Yeah. Well, but writing does. They always say the first thing to do is you journal about what you're feeling. And
Yes.
I remember someone telling me that, when I was young, you need to journal everything. I go back and read my journals. Today, I ate spaghetti. Then I went out and played at recess. And then I went inside and we did math. I mean, it was like broken up schedule. And I'm like, look back in my life. And I'm kind of a scheduled person now. And I'm kind of like, I kind of was that from back then. And people are like, you need to journal. But I didn't understand about emotions or feelings.
Right. And sharing those deep feelings. And I think, I mean, there's lots of times that I've taken situations in my life, and I sit down and I write, and I'm shocked at what comes out. I love free writing for that reason, because you can solve or figure out things through it.
Yeah, and that's so important. And so listeners, as we were getting ready to go into break, but listen to what Finn just said, journaling and writing your feelings and emotions down and what you're going through. You often, probably 95% of the time, will solve what you're going through yourself.
Well, you have
because
your
it is
answers.
about you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. You have the answers inside of you. It's just taking the time to settle, and going through the process of writing it down and seeing what it's all about. Listeners, thank you for being with us. We will be right back. Don't go away. We're going to be introducing AJ Parks as soon as we come back from break.
Okay, great. We're all clear. Back in a couple minutes.
Okay, thanks. Good job. Okay, AJ, when we come back on, you're going to be in. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay with just the phone? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I didn't have any way to pre-test the internet connection, so I'm so sorry. I thought it was going to be good, and it's really not good. So, okay.
Well, now we know for next time.
Right? It's fine.
Yeah,
The building
I
is
know
not
for sure.
not sharing your
Yeah.
time.
And AJ, do you have a part of your book that you can read? Do you have a book
Sure.
with you?
I got the whole
Okay.
book right here.
I know, I'm trying to figure
I
out.
forgot to put on my bio.
Yeah.
Do you want? Because I actually did win a gold medal, which is really good. Florida Authors and Publishers Association gold medal, which is really cool.
That's way cool.
I should have put that on the bio. Okay, so how big of a section of the book do you want?
You know what? Maybe there's just a couple different characters that you can do to where we can hear the different voices. And, like a paragraph, 5 to 10 sentences, not like a long. But I just want to hear the different characteristics or the sounds of your characters in the book.
Ooh,
I'm kind of putting you guys
we'll
on the
try.
spot. So
I know. I'm
I'm
searching
sorry.
for a spot. No, I love it.
I do that a lot with my guests.
That's fine.
But guess what? They love me and they keep coming back.
Right? It's
I
fine.
don't know what to pick. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I should read. I should do something from Awakening because it's anniversary, but I could easily read from my new one too. It's got swear words in it though.
All right, we're coming back in about 15 seconds.
Okay, thank you. You can just blurp. Blurp.
VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. Makes sense, I guess.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Listeners, thank you for being with us. We just got listened and talked a little bit to Finn O'Malley right before break, and her passion for imaginative writing and how she journals and writes her feelings, and the questions that she has, she's able to solve because she's going within. She's taking the time of being one. And I just love that. We have 2 amazing affirmations also today. I enjoy giving, and love vibrations are increasing on the earth. To me, both of those are about freedom. We have the freedom to enjoy giving, and we have the freedom to let the vibration of love increase all around us. They're our choice. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us, listeners. I want to introduce to you our next author, AJ Parks. AJ has embraced a lifelong passion for writing and reading. There's nothing better than a really good story, and she feels compelled to keep creating. Fantasy has always been her favorite because it represents the world of imagination and fiction. She loves laughing and joking with family and friends. She enjoys meeting new people and learning and doing new things. She craves life adventures, climbing mountains, backpacking, rappelling, swimming in lakes, and snowshoeing. She enjoys building furniture. She loves trees, sunshine, fresh air, shopping for outdoor gear, and she always eats her vegetables. Her dislikes, which I love this part, include poison ivy, soda, junk food, yard work, uncomfortable shoes, and mosquitoes. Anne is from Northern Utah and is happily married to the father of her 3 beautiful daughters. So Anne, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. It's been so fun to watch the progress that you've made as you've started this podcast and the amazing success of your book and all the other fun business things that you do. It's just been so fun to kind of be a part of that.
Well,
I really enjoyed it.
It has been like a quick journey the last 6 months, actually. Last 3 months.
You're on the fast track. You're on the rocket ship. I love it.
People that know me are like, yeah, that's Karen for you. She just jumps in and goes.
You've got your foot on the gas pedal, right?
Always.
That's the way you roll.
There's something about speed. I've always enjoyed it. It's like, get me behind something powerful. I just want to go fast, 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 fast. But I want you to tell me a little bit about the names of your books. And you just mentioned something during our break. You have this beautiful gold label on your book. Explain to us what that is all about.
So I'm not a very lucky person, so I've never won anything before in my life. So that was really exciting to me. My book War's Ending has been out for a little while now. It's actually been 2 years, and so I have a new book that's coming out in a couple of months. We'll talk more about that. But so when I published my book, I entered it into a few different contests, and one of them, the Florida Authors and Publishers Association President's Book Awards, I was very honored to win a gold medal for young adult fiction and then a bronze medal for fantasy fiction. So that was super exciting to me to place in 2 categories. And so it's just been a wonderful honor, and it's been so fun. And we'll enter the new book into some contests too, see if we can win something else. But
yes.
Anyway, it was just so exciting to have that happen. I've loved it. So you do get a gold seal on the front of the book now, and that's awesome. I love that.
So when did you decide to become an author? I know I asked Finn the same question, but it always intrigues me about authors because they're all over the board.
Well, I actually loved listening in on Finn's answer because I'm like, yep, check, check, check. Because, I think we basically were born with a pen in our hand and wait, okay, as soon as I could write, I'm like, I should be writing. And I, just even as a little kid, I liked to write poetry. I'm not saying it was good, and then I had the same thing, how awesome would it be to be the youngest published author ever? So Finn, when you said that, I had a really good laugh. So I'm like, oh yeah, I remember thinking that in 3rd grade. It was a great dream. But, it took a lot longer than that to actually get the goal accomplished. But I always loved to write. And especially as I started to get to be a teenager and an older teenager and an adult, I've always just kept at it. It's never something that I've given up on. Life has happened in the meantime, all sorts of life events in the last, 20, 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. But I've never given up on writing. That's always something that I've kept, whether it was on the back burner for a minute or more to the forefront. I just love it. I'm addicted to reading stories. And so if the perfect one isn't out there, then you have to write it.
I like that. I like that little it's not out there. I'm going to create it. Perfect book's not out there.
Exactly.
Tell the listeners about your book.
I have to create the perfect story for me. So the stories that I like to read, there's a few key things that I have to have. I love fantasy because you want to go someplace amazing while you're reading. And just the town down the road, wasn't interesting enough for me. So I wanted a new world or a new culture, new people, new just exciting elements. And that's what's fun about fantasy, is that you can add anything that you want in there. And I enjoy that. But I also really wanted characters that were interesting to me. And so this book, War's Ending, that is out now, the key idea, I imagine, what would it be like if you had a culture of people that it was normal for them to cover their face or to not show their face to anyone outside their culture. And silly me, I wrote that before COVID happened. I had no idea that was coming. So that was an interesting, side note while the book was out. But I thought, how would other cultures respond to those people? Would you assume that they were up to no good because they wouldn't show their face? Or what assumptions would you make about their culture or the secrets that they're keeping? And why would they develop that? And so that was a really fun part of developing the culture in my book. So I really enjoyed that.
That's interesting. So your second book that you're coming out with, is it like a sequel or is it something totally different than your first book?
So I guess it's kind of a funny story. I'm not the fastest writer. I have to think about things for a while. And so I am getting faster as I go along. But I think sometimes if you have a really great first book, the minute you're done with it, everybody's like, okay, you got 3 months to get the second one out. And you're like, well, I'm not ready yet. So I do have a sequel to War's Ending, but it is not ready yet. It's maybe 2/3 done. It's not done yet. And so one day I was walking along the trail because I love to go hiking. And I thought, if I die tomorrow, what book would I be really sad that I didn't publish? And so I decided to go ahead and put out another book, which was more complete, but it's a standalone. So they're in the same genre, same flavor, same kind of audience, but they're not connected to each other. Totally different place, different characters. And so we haven't officially announced the title for the new book, but hopefully if I have to change it, don't come back and be mad at me, but we're calling it The Ring Keeper. And so it's scheduled to come out in September, and I'm super excited about that. But that's the book I read to myself when I'm bored at night. And I'm like, I just want to indulge for a second.
I love that.
It's something that's really fun to read.
I enjoy the fact that you're reading your book, your words, and that has to just feel...
Isn't that sad? In a way, it's sad, but, I wonder how it turns out. How does
I totally agree. Wait, I forgot I wrote this.
It's true. I mean, that can happen at times because I don't have the best memory either, which is why it's important to write things down. But I can go back and read something after a long time, and I'm like, I don't remember this part. Wow, did I write this? This is really good. I love it. So it can happen.
Yeah,
no, I agree. It does.
It does happen. With my book, Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine, that's a memoir on my life. And so even writing that, I had forgotten a bunch of stuff, and it brought so much up in me. And then I wrote it all, and then people are like going, oh my gosh, I didn't know that about you. I go, how did you find that out? Well, it's in your book. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot I wrote that
into the world.
That's what the journaling is for, because otherwise there's so many things in life experiences. You're like, wow, I forgot that happened. So I think that's really important, because I don't know about anyone else, but my brain is not big enough to keep like everything in it. And so an entire book, I can still go back. I go back all the time and read my own work, which is terrible. Maybe nobody else does that, but I still really enjoy it because I can't keep all the words and all the scenes and everything in my head all at once.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. So you say in your bio, AJ, that you enjoy the outdoors and climbing and mountaineering and things like that. So just this is kind of opposite of the books, but I want to know a little bit, what's the highest mountain you've climbed? That kind of intrigued me because I love hiking and things like that. So I'm like,
I love it. So when I was 18, so this is a long time ago, I went to Jackson Hole and spent the summer working in Grand Teton National Park. And so at that point, I'm like, wow, look at that giant pointy mountain up there, that's amazing. And so it was in the back of my mind. And then as I did more hiking and more climbing, I'm like, no, I really want that peak, not the medium-sized one, not the lower one. I want the big one. And so it took a long time to get there, but I did climb the Grand Teton. It's 13,777 feet. And it's like 7,000 feet of vertical. So it's really a challenge to climb. But I did it in stages. So I started out with climbing, some lower peaks. And then if you've been up there, the Middle Teton is like 1,000 feet lower, but it's not nearly as steep. So you can climb that one without ropes and stuff. So I climbed that one a couple of times. And then I'm like, all right, that's enough of the second highest mountain. It's time to climb it. And I couldn't get any of my friends and family to go with me. They're like, "Oh no, we're not doing that." So
You're like, I'm
so
out. No.
I'm like, I don't think so. No. And so I hired the climbing company, and so there were 7 random strangers that we went to climb the mountain with, but they were awesome. They were awesome random strangers. And so we spent 4 days hiking in. You hike into the base camp, and then you camp for a night, and then they have some help for those of us that aren't professional rock climbers, where we practice on some of the rock faces. And then you've got a day where you do the summit, and then you hike back out. And it took 11 hours to do the summit.
Wow.
From
That's
like the
incredible.
base camp to the summit and back. It was crazy. And on the day we did it, there was 1 hour of good weather after we got back. Before it was lightning and rain and hail. And you really don't want to be out on those exposed rock faces when it's lightning. That's not good or safe. So
Yeah.
it was an amazing experience.
I heard the weather can change on a dime up there. It can be clear, and all of a sudden, a minute later, it's like whoosh.
It can. And when you're in the mountains, if you're way up on the top, obviously you can kind of see the weather coming. But if you're down in a canyon, or you're down in an area where there's, mountain peaks blocking the weather, sometimes it can be there in 15 minutes and you didn't see it coming. So it's really true. We were talking about somebody talking about being up there when it was a lightning storm, and they said their ice axe started to buzz. And I'm like, that's not a good plan. So it is really important to keep an eye on the weather. I'd say that and just falling is the most dangerous part of doing it. But we try to you try to watch the weather reports and just keep a really close eye on it. And if it's time to head down, then you better head down.
Yeah. Well, and I find that I know, and Finn also, I know you enjoy the outdoors, and you went into incredible, was it last weekend for your birthday?
Yes,
listeners.
For my 40th. What? I went to the Oregon coast. I have never been up there, and it was incredible. It was absolutely magical. And I went for research too for my new book. So it was multitaskful.
Exactly. That's why we love the outdoors so much, is because we're just actually doing research for what is a fantasy quest really like when you don't have a hotel and you have to be out there. What's that really like?
What's this like?
All research.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
and I totally agree with that, because I believe in elementals. Like when I go outside, I'm always thinking, oh, there's little fairies around, and you look at these big trees and you think that they're inside of there, and like Avatar, like all those kind of things. Like to me, it's magical. Why would you not believe in stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Did you see the picture that I posted of, we were on this, the funny thing is it was off a rest stop of all places. And we had just gotten in, and we were like 30 minutes from the coast, and we start walking back there, and I was like, this is where you walk into a dragon realm. Cause the scene I was working on is this, she's in a pocket realm inside of the earth realm, and that's where the dragon lives. And so I was like, this is where you would just walk in, and he was like, we're gonna get eaten by dragons. But it was so funny. There was this like it was a broken tree, and the stump was there, and I was like, this is where the fairy queen lives, Caleb, and this is where she talks to her people. And I took the most magical picture. I'll post it later today.
Yes.
Just as a remembrance. But I was doing that. I was like, that's where the fairies live. It was perfect.
Well, and don't you feel like as an author,
you're super fun as a mom.
She is. She has this world of, but like listeners, like seriously, if you're intrigued with writing and you get like those fogs with, okay, what's the next thing? Go out in nature, go experience the sunrise or the sunsets or new places you've never been, and just allow your brain just to like defog and let the imagination move forward. Don't you feel like that's very helpful?
I feel like it's choosing to be, one, in the moment, and two, to allow yourself to see the magic that is there.
I think that's awesome. And
right?
I mean, if you're always concentrating on, it's easy to get distracted in this world. It's very noisy and very busy, and it's really useful to take a minute to just be and just experience the world around you. And I think that's it's essential for writing, and it's a great skill for life too, to just be for a minute instead of hustling. You'll
Yes, walk away for
put
a
on the
minute.
gas pedal for just a second.
Right.
Not go fast for a minute. There's value in going really slow or not moving at all for a minute too, which is why you start with your affirmation, which is great.
Yeah, and that's, I'm always aware of being in the being and not doing, because I do. I think as humans, we just do. And learning to be silent, quiet your mind, and allowing the magic. I've had a couple of people in my past say, Karen, you're a fairy tale. You live in a fairy tale. Everything is happily ever after. I'm like, well, why not? I get to create that. That's the magic inside. And all of us have that if we just take the opportunity and just silence ourselves and be centered and just being and allowing the beauty. To me, nature is magical.
Absolutely.
And it continues to evolve
I
and
agree.
change. Nature is never standing still.
No, it's in constant change.
In constant change. And that is the beauty of it. And it's such a good example of, even though we are constant changing too, from this second to the last second, I mean, we're continually changing, but nature has come to the magical place of being in the center and being still, even though it's evolving inside. It's not worried about anything else around them, but just what they're doing. And I think that's so important. Listeners, we're going to go into break, and we've had the opportunity of speaking with AJ Parks and her adventures of writing, and with Finn O'Malley, and we will be right back in just a minute.
All right, nicely done. We're all clear.
Hey, thanks. That was good.
It was so good.
I love the magic, you guys, with nature, because I am just nature girl. It's like,
It's the best.
That's
it
awesome.
is. I know,
That's
and
awesome.
both of
We
you
just got
are.
back from backpacking on Monday night.
Nice.
That was crazy.
Where'd you guys go?
Yeah.
We went back to the Tetons. We didn't do any of the peaks this year, but we did a big
fun.
section of the Teton Crest Trail. So that was really, really wonderful.
That's awesome. That's something I've wanted to do, is do the Tetons. Hike the Tetons. I've always wanted to something the Teton. I'm like,
Oh,
I could do that. Like,
You
I've done
should.
rock climbing. I've done things like that. I could do that.
Do it.
if you're not doing the peaks, you don't even have to rock climb. But you can do.
Just
There's
hikes.
a lot of terrain that you don't need any equipment. You can just hike.
That's awesome. That would be
Yeah.
fun.
That'd be fun. Maybe we'll do a
It was-
girls trip.
It was really fun.
Yes.
Amen.
I'm down.
I'm all about girl power. Let's do this. Do this thing.
Do it.
This will be really
That's
good.
right.
Okay, so when we come back after break, we're gonna I'll give you guys each the opportunity to share how people can find your book, where to go type thing, and how to
Okay.
contact you.
Okay.
And then we'll each read a little section from your book to
Okay.
share with the audience, that we can hear the expressions of their characters. Okay. And then we're going to ask just a couple questions. We'll going back and forth. And I'll ask you kind of the same questions, or I'm going to switch them up a little bit.
Okay.
Anyway, just follow my lead. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Okay. We'll just roll with it. Whatever it is, we'll just roll with it.
That's kind of what I do.
Right? This is how I run my whole life.
If it's
No-
too structured,
No
I'm
pants.
like I like structure in some things, but not in all. So I have
This
a balance.
is
I'm
why
balancing.
I'm a planter. I don't plan or plot. I just fly by the seat of my plants.
All right, sorry to jump in. We are coming back.
Okay, thanks.
You are listening to Now or Never. The choice is yours. To connect with the program today, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is Karen@shinenowornever.com. Let's get back to this week's show. Here again is Karen Wright.
Listeners, welcome back. I've had a lot of inquiry about a retreat that's coming up. So I'm going to share a little bit about this retreat. It's called Diamond Ignite, Now or Never. It's going to be held October 7th through the 10th at prestigious Park City, Utah. Now is the time to find the diamond within you. Discover the freedom to achieve your dreams. Work with experts and find power within yourself to transform your life. Create an unstoppable vision for yourself. Experience the process through nature, meditation, and yoga. Rejuvenate and renew from the inside out. Go to my website, Shine Now or Never, and click on retreats. And you can sign in for that one coming up in October. It's going to be I'm so excited for all this happening right now. When we left from break, we were talking with AJ and Finn, and these authors are amazing. They are unique and authentic. They're in the world, and they go out to nature to find the magic, to defog themselves, to let their imagination go. And I want each of you to share with the listeners how they can find you, how they can find your book, and reach out to you and feel the magic inside of each of you. So AJ, would you share with the listeners for me?
Sure. So I am not that hard to find. Okay, so you can email me. I have an email that's ajparkwriting@gmail.com. My Facebook just says AJ Park Author. And I have a website that is ajparkwriting.com. And you can find my book on Amazon. I don't know, for those of you that are on Facebook, you can see the cover. It's a really distinctive cover, which anyway, I love the cover. But it's actually, I have scheduled, just for the show, I scheduled a free sale day. So if you want to check it out, you can download it for free on Amazon today. So that's our gift to the listeners. Enjoy it. If you want to check it out, no cost. You can just give it a read. I'd love it if you do a review after. That would be wonderful. But you can just go to Amazon and download the ebook for free either today or tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Listeners, take advantage of that. That's awesome. Thanks, AJ. Good job.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I wanted your audience to be super happy.
Yes. Well, both of you are doing that. I already know. I can just feel it. So it's a good thing. And how can people get a hold of you?
Me, Finn?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was like, wait, is it my turn? I mostly hang out in Instagram land now. So it's finn.o'malley.author. But I have Facebook, Finn O'Malley. And my books are on Amazon. So you can find me under, again, Finn O'Malley. And again, for the Facebook Lives, this is Awakening and we love the purple.
Oh, it's absolutely
beautiful. Ooh, I love the cover.
Right? Yeah. It's so magical. I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Very magical. There's power.
I'm just saying. I look at a lot of book covers.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know. Book covers are very intriguing. That's the most important thing. And there's a lot to do. Like
exactly.
I want to know, like, people always ask me, how did you come up with your cover? And it was like, well, magic, right? It's like I had this vision of what I wanted, and the photographer captured everything I wanted in the front of my book. And it was just like amazing. So is that happen to you? Like, how does that transpire for you? Finn, what about for you first?
It's, yeah.
You want to start with Finn? I'll be quiet.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to hear yours too. Mine has been sometimes a process of like not seeing what I didn't want, which was an interesting experience. But like when Demon, I just knew like that cover, like that was my cover. I just knew it and I created it, I think. Same with the new one that's coming out. I'm really excited for that cover too, because it's so pretty. I love it.
We like pretty.
I know, right?
Yeah. AJ, what about you?
So there is a gentleman who, he lives here in Utah, but his company is bookcreatives.com. His name's Brian Halley. But I've seen his work before, and I'm like, before I even had the book done, I'm like, I really want you to do my cover. And so he designed the cover of Wars Ending, and he's actually working right now, probably as we speak, on the cover of the new book. And so I did two things. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you everything I want and everything that I like and all my ideas, and that can be one draft. And then you do whatever you please, and then we'll see what you come up with. Because I didn't want to inhibit his artistic ability by giving him too much input, because he just does such good work. And it's all about how it looks visually. And I might be able to imagine it, but sometimes the specifics are hard to come up with. And it's always really good. I can usually tell you what I don't like or what I think you should do differently, but I don't always know how to fix it. And so it is really good. I mean, I wish I was better at it. I'm going to try to do some design, but it's really nice to have somebody that's amazing at it to help you with it.
Right.
And that's what,
my job is words, not design.
yeah. Well, and that's why we leverage, right? You learn to
Right.
leverage out. You concentrate on what you're good at, and then those little weak links that we have, we leverage out, and then it creates the masterpiece that the books have become. So you guys are stinking smart what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I think it's great.
Absolutely. There's always people really, really good at the graphic design.
Oh, absolutely. There's some incredible people.
Yes. And that's so important because that cover, you know, they say don't judge a book by its cover.
We do. We all do.
We do.
It's
You
fine.
do, and you kind of should. And it's a really important part of your book. And if you don't match right with your genre and you don't match, then you're going to have problems with all the marketing and finding your audience. So it is important. The audience connects with your book through the cover first before they've ever read anything. So it's important that it represent your work well.
Yep. So we're not going to ever say that again. We might not judge people for how they appear, but do not judge a book by its cover.
Right. We don't do that.
We don't mean for people. You can't judge people by their covers, but
No.
you can judge books by their covers.
I love
So
it.
true. I love that. So who wants to read first? I want to make sure we have time to do this. Fins up?
I'll do it. Yeah. I picked a piece that has a couple different characters. So,
Okay.
you know, because you love it.
Okay.
So this is a quick moment. There's a vampire, an air fairy, and my main character and her friend. So Ravina stood with one hand lazily holding her hip. She flipped her other in the direction of us. Elias, at last I present to you Aslan, Keeper of Elements. Darting closer in quick movements, he examined my face. Then, like lightning, his hand shot out and grabbed my nose. Hey! I cried, rubbing my nose in return. I thought she would be taller. Mystified, he glared at Ravina with disgust. Rowan rocked back on his heels, trying to hide a smile. I wouldn't be talking about height if I were you, I snipped. This thing was worse than my cat. Elias, after the Greek god of wind? His face took instant offense. No, he's named after me. His little fluff of hair wiggled in outrage.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Okay. AJ, you're up. We've got 4 minutes till closing,
Okay,
and
we
I
were
want
trying
you to
to-
read this.
I'm excited. I'm
That was
excited.
kind of fast. I'm trying to decide what to where to start.
I know that's the hardest part.
I picked a confrontation. Sorry. So we have a guy named Farak who is a priest, and he's really upset with the leader of his people, and upset with our leading lady, whose name is Shalairi. So I'm just going to dive in. So if you don't know what's going on, I'm sorry, because I just randomly started in the middle.
By the book.
Okay. Yeah, buy the book and read it. Okay. So this is Farak talking. He says, I swore to protect the sacred waters. I could not afford to hesitate. There is no time for a regular trial. We're at war. And you, our first guardian, dared take one of the cursed sea folk to the sacred spring and drink together as if you were lovers. It's disgusting. What defense could you possibly give? Do you deny that you took her there and drank with her? No, Kalik said. Oathbreaker, Farak yelled. His men were shouting too. They surrounded Kalik. Shalairi was reminded of the ocean when the sharks were preparing to feed. Not Kalik. Why had he done it? He had explained the law to her so carefully. It was their law to destroy oathbreakers, but not him. She struggled to her feet. She couldn't just stand by and watch it. I gave him my oath, she said, and I keep it. I will keep it. Your law is satisfied. Farak turned and struck her face, knocking her down. Your word is nothing, he screamed. How dare you speak of our law? You're not one of our people. Kalik will die for his faithlessness. No, she cried, struggling back to her knees. Farak, stop, Kalik commanded. This is not really about her. You've been waiting for any opportunity to destroy me. Leave her alone. Okay. You want me to stop?
Woo!
You have to find out what happened.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
I love it. Oh, listeners, I hope you are like enthralled. Go on Amazon, AJ Parks, Finn O'Malley, download their books, buy their books. You can get mine on Amazon too. Now or Never, Shine Baby Shine. Oh, I love the magic that both of you bring out for people and the imagination. And fantasy to me is so important. Just to be able to leave this world that we're in just for a moment and be someplace else. The importance of that magic, the importance of tuning back into that little girl, the little boy inside of you, and being the warrior, being the hero, being the knight, being the princess, whatever it is. So I invite the listeners to look up Finn O'Malley, AJ Parks, download their books, buy their books on Amazon, and then read it and do a review. Do a review, because as authors, that's what we love. We love the reviews.
We do. We need them.
We need
my
them.
heart.
We do. We need them
need
so
them.
bad.
Don't
Listeners,
get stage
remember,
fright trying to write it. Just write what you thought of the book and just post it. So
yeah,
Yes.
always lean in with your heart when you're writing a review. And the honest
Mhm.
review is what we take. And that's the truth of it. So listeners, remember our two affirmations for this week. I enjoy giving, and love vibrations are increasing on the earth. The breath is a gift of life. Choose now and live. Remember, this world is not for sissies. We are here to experience our own story as we each walk our personal journeys. Have an amazing day, and thank you for choosing to be here now. Until next week, sending you all love and light.
All right, excellent show. We're all clear.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to have to disconnect the phone
Hey, we
line
did
for
it.
the next show, and so you'll have to go back to the Zoom with everyone, okay?
So hang up, Ann.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
But stay on Zoom if it still works.
Right?
Yeah, that was good. Thank you both.
No, thank you, Karen. That was awesome.
You guys did amazing.
Okay.
And
I'm
Amazing,
gonna do a giveaway sometime today. I have a really busy day of like work, so I have to do all that first.
Yeah.
But
You know
I'll
what?
do
Even
something.
even if you both in a couple days share the link with your giveaways or your
Okay.
your shout outs, whatever you did like today or tomorrow, and you do it, and then Finn, if you do it like
Perfect.
Friday or something,
And where do you want us to post that?
and just do it
Everywhere.
on your,
Everywhere.
Facebook,
Well,
Instagram.
I have been anyway, but like,
Yeah, and then share me,
Okay.
copy me on it, or share with me and share it with
Can
Finn
you-
too.
Karen, make sure that you like Finn O'Malley because I can't tag you unless you like the page. I don't think so.
Okay. I thought I was following you.
And I
but
have-
Maybe you
sure.
on
are, and it
Facebook.
just wouldn't tag it too. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. No,
I
will do
have
that.
a friend request, but you have to answer it for
Oh,
Facebook, I think. So, and
I
should
need
do
to
the
follow
same thing,
you too,
Jen.
Anne.
Are you on Facebook too, or just?
Uh-huh.
I'll put
Are
it
you
on
under-
Instagram too.
Yeah, no, me too. It's under AJ Parks or AJ Park.
Finn O'Malley.
For Facebook, it's AJ Park Author, and then Instagram says AJ Park Official.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
And there is some other guy that's his writer name is AJ Park. The nerve of him! But I was here
Yeah.
first.
AJ Parks.
I followed you as Liam. I gotta figure out how to follow
So
you.
are
as
you
Jen,
AJ
too.
Parks official?
Yeah, that's Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Follow. Finn, I am following you on
Okay.
Let me pull
Instagram.
up. Okay,
Okay.
let's see.
On Facebook
up
or
Instagram
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah, no, I know that. I meant on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me double check. And it's Finn. We're going with Finn O'Malley,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Because it wouldn't let me pull you in, but I tagged the show, so it pulls you that way. But
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm following you on Insta now as well, AJ. I love it. I love it. I need to catch up.
Okay.
I know I've seen that interview with the demon the therapy session with the demon. I know I've seen your book before.
I know it's next to my bed. I'll pick it up and just read parts of it as I go into bed. It's like, yay! I've got like a bundle of them. It's so much fun. So much fun. This will be good.
What's
Okay.
yours for Instagram, Karen? Let's see.
Shine. Shine now or never. Okay, so Leah, I am following you on Finn O'Malley.
Okay. Were you or
Uh-uh.
okay, that's why.
Just Instagram.
Okay.
So
Cool.
and I'll make sure I have you too. So yeah, just, you know, throughout we'll just continue to me, it's all about building the platforms together, you know, sharing
yeah.
each other's and being there for each other. And then however I can help you guys, let me know.
Okay.
Because I'm here for you guys.
Yay. That was so
Thank
fun.
you. This is already a huge help.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to figure out how to follow you as I thought I could do both. Instead of just Leah. Oh,
Okay.
whatever. Whatever. I'm
No,
following you regardless.
We'll do it. We'll figure this all out.
Right.
But yeah, and then it's like moving on. So they did a I'm contracted for a year. They signed me up for a year, so I got.
Oh, that's
to-
cool.
Yeah, so the numbers, the listeners are growing. So it's like
That's
yay.
amazing.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's
Great
like-
job.
It's so cool. And then yeah, so coming the first of the year again, or when they're getting closer to release, then we can do like I've been doing 2 guests at a time, but as you see, we run out of time.
Right. No, an hour is like I feel like we could have kept
That's
talking.
fine.
Like,
Oh yeah, we
way longer.
totally could have. And so that's why moving in, I'm trying to do 1 or 2 guests during the month, just one-on-one. When I know we have that relationship, we can dive deeper and go
Right.
further down into more of the storyline or things like that, and how we can help with the, you know, always with the listeners, but helping them create, because people want to create and find their creativity inside of them, and how, certain things like the nature part you talked about, finding the magic. To me, that was very helpful for people.
Right.
So, but moving forward, always, I'm here to help wherever we can with promotions and things like that. And with my retreats, like my retreats are coming up, and next year I'm planning on doing 4 to 6. So will be looking for guest speakers or sponsorships with people to come in and say, hey, and give you guys, an evening to talk or share your storyline, and just something a little bit different for my guests. We'll have 10 to 16, but they're, I call them the VIPs because it's just hands-on, and I just want them to feel the love that's all around them, through these
Right.
retreats.
Oh, I
So,
love it.
Having you guys there as guests would be awesome,
That
and
would be fun.
speakers or
Recording
whatever.
anymore, so you guys are
So
fine. I'm so
it'll
sorry.
be-
I didn't keep you out of here.
It'll be great.
I'm
So
excited. Yeah, just
I'm
keep me
excited too.
updated. It'll be fun. Okay, so just so you know, the card that I drew for it,
yeah,
forge, don't follow.
love
And
that.
so pave a new path, but be the leader you wish you had. But it was all about being a leader.
I
I'll
love
send you
that.
a picture of it. I thought it
That's-
was perfect though.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Right?
that is awesome. Yeah, I just had a talk yesterday with this person who pointed out to me that Karen, you are a leader. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
But-
I've always same thing. And I
Right.
just
Sure
people
you
always
are.
say that, oh, you inspire me so much to do blah blah blah. And I'm like, why? Really? I don't understand. Why would you be inspired to do stuff because of me? What? Why? But I don't know. It's just what
It's
you
true.
do, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, it's true. So, and I think it'd be kind of fun actually to get a bunch of us and do readings on the show one time.
That would be super fun.
That would be really fun. We totally
Wouldn't
do
that
that.
be fun?
I think we're so like, I think it's funny because authors love, not every author, but I love reading my work. I think it's fun.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I go back and I'm like, oh, I could have said that better.
Right? Right?
Which maybe that's an editing thing. And they tell you to always read it to yourself out loud before
Out
you
loud
publish
for
it,
that
which-
reason. Yeah.
which is true.
Yeah.
Because
You're
I
like,
catch
that
more
doesn't
stuff. I'm like,
sound-
oh, I should have said that. Or anyway,
Mhm.
but we're our own worst critic. We know that.
Oh, we are for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Z's.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's how we learn and grow, right?
Right.
It's true. And sadly, there's also lots of other critics out there too. So you might as well go ahead and just catch
Right.
some of the stuff because they certainly will.
They will, because they're assholes. We all have
Some of them
those.
are.
Yeah. Seriously, I have some that I'm like, really? Do you have a problem with like life? What is your problem? Why do you hate me so much?
I did have somebody that's like, well, I was just in a really grumpy mood when I read this book. I was having a really bad day, and it was kind of too positive for me. I'm like, it's a review. It's on there somewhere.
Like, can you be
Or
nice?
somebody-
Is that possible?
Yeah. As somebody else that is like, well, it just has really complicated names. I'm like, it's a fantasy. Fantasies always have that.
Right.
Like maybe they just never read fantasy before, because that was the thing I
Yeah,
got, the
yeah.
impression I got from that person. But
yeah, for sure.
most people have liked it.
Yay!
I'm excited. We'll have to, yeah, I'm going to have to get your book, AJ.
Yeah, just download it and put it on your Kindle or on your Kindle app, and then
Yeah.
you can just read it later when you get a chance.
Oh, yeah. And I'll be the
Right.
one stumbling over the big words.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's
funny
just a
'cause
fantasy
I just read it to
thing.
myself. It's okay.
Yeah, and you just have to pick something weird and wild for fantasy. But like when I was doing my author name, I'm like, it's got to be the most simple, easy thing that even a
Right.
chimpanzee could remember and say my name. So
Right.
AJ Park. Like it's so easy.
We got that part.
But that
I
part,
love
but and titles, I try to make the book titles really easy too. But then I
Yes.
didn't make everybody's name in there really easy.
It's fine.
So
But that's
I've got
the joy of
some-
it.
The
You
next,
get to do it.
Right.
That'll be good.
it's true.
All right, you guys. Thank you again so
Yes, thank you.
Let
I
me
gotta
know
go
how I
like
can help you
work
guys.
now. I don't
I know.
know.
much. Me too. Okay.
All right.
Love you both. Thank
Love
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I got to go back to work too. But oh well, that's okay. That's okay. We
It's
got
good
this
for you.
thing.
We got
Thank you.
this.
Bye.
Bye, guys.